Okay, so I've tried to attempt this video so many times. I've tried back in 2008 when I first got this to review it after the first week after I got it. Then I tried to review it a year ago in the apartment I was living in. But overall, I couldn't get the quality. I couldn't really talk. So today, since I have an HD camera and a tripod, I'm going to try this video one more time. So today I'm going to go over the design of the PS3, exterior design like the case and everything, the ventilation system, the hardware, and the features that are contained within this beast. Now let's get started. First off, if there are any Spider-Man fans in the audience, you'll notice that the PlayStation 3 logo was completely inspired by Spider-Man 3. Let's see, and then on the front here, there used to be chrome on the earlier models. Now keep in mind this is a 40 gigabyte PlayStation 3. This used to be chrome in front of here. It was good looking, but the only problem was it was a dust magnet, it was a fingerprint magnet, much like the entire PlayStation 3 itself, but not too many people touch it, except for the touch-sensitive buttons here. Let's see. And then this right here, if anybody's wondering what this might have been, this was actually a door at one point in time. With the 80 gigabytes and the 60 gigabyte models of PlayStation 3. What was in here at the time was compact flash, SD, and memory stick duo. Now they took out these features because of cost reduction and cost itself. Nobody really uses compact flash anymore, and nobody really views photos on the PS3. The only other reason you would use them would be for videos and music and game saves and other stuff like that. But mainly there was really no need at the point. I can see why they took it out now. Let's see. And then we have two USB ports. There used to be four for the 60 gigabyte and the 80 gigabyte models. Now I'm not really sure who would use that many USB ports aside from a keyboard, a mouse, your headset charger, and your USB charging cord for your controller. But I mainly use these just for flash drives, my headset charger, and my controller charger. That's pretty much it. Let's see. And then a lot of people say that this looks like a George Foreman grill, and I think that's what gives its unique characteristic, because we all know what the PS3 looks like, at least the fat models. And because it looks like the George Foreman grill, it'll forever be etched in our mind like the PlayStation 2 before it. Let's see. What else? Let's see. On the back, we have the AC inputs. We have the grounding switch. We have the Ethernet port, which I use. Let's see. And then we have HDMI, Dolby Digital, Dolby, I forgot what it's called, DTS out. And then we have multi-AV out. We have component, composite, SCART, name it. I mean, even if you have composite, everything still looks good on the PS3, no matter what it is. Let's see. And then to swap the hard drive, here's the hard drive panel. It's much like the slim Xbox 360 today. All you need is a 1.5 inch or a 2.5 inch, I don't remember. But all you need is a basic SATA laptop hard drive and you're good. Now, as I said, this is a 40 gigabyte, and the memory is expandable to many other variations of hard drive space, but mainly, yeah. Let's see. And then we have the touch-sensitive buttons to turn off the system and eject the system. Now, I wouldn't say they're not really sensitive. It only takes like one press on it or one press around it to activate one of them. Let's see, this doesn't react to anything else but skin. I even tried to eject it with my nose and it worked. That's one other cool feature about the older model of PS3s. Now, the newer model of PS3s, don't really care for, but I'm thinking about upgrading because the fans on mine are kind of, well, you know. Let's see. Now, getting back to it, I don't really like the buttons on the slim PS3 because one, they're push-in buttons. Nobody really likes that. Everybody likes touch-sensitive today. It's kind of like the Nintendo Wii. Alright, now I'm going to talk about features of the PlayStation 3. Features go on forever in this thing. Like, they really do. Like, okay, for starters, we have the disk drive here. This isn't any ordinary disk drive. It's like the Wii itself. Like, you push in the disc, it automatically slides it in for you, and you press the button and it automatically slides it out for you. It's not like the 360 where the disc tray can jam. Let's see, and if you look really close inside here, you can see little brushes inside the disc tray itself. This helps from getting rid of dust that may be on the PS3 disc, and I think that's a really good feature they added. Okay, what next? Features. This has Blu-ray. This can play DVDs, upscale them to 1080p and other stuff like that. This can play your music CDs. This has HDMI, as you saw in the back, Bluetooth, which I think is really awesome. Let's see. And because this has an internal power supply, there is no need for a power brick like the Xbox 360's, the enormous, gigantic power brick that we all know and hate. Let's see. Another feature of the PS3 is that this has a trick with the fan. If you hold down the eject button and turn on the ground switch, you'll activate the fans, making it blow out like a hairdryer. And this helps by removing dust and other particles that may be inside it. And I think that's a really good feature to it. Let's see. And now for the cooling system. The cooling system is really unique. Let's see. There are vents almost everywhere on the PS3, but unlike the 360, none of them can really be blocked. There's a vent on the top here. There's a vent in the front, and then there's a vent on the back with fans. Now, here's how I think it works. It sucks in air to cool the system. And this part here sucks in air as well and blows it out at the same time. And the fans are the really main factor here. They blow out the dust, they blow out the hot air, and really this thing doesn't exactly overheat as much as you think. It barely overheats unless you have a heater sitting right next to it. That's the only time it will really overheat. And it won't affect any graphics and won't affect any gameplay too much, if at all. Like, unlike the Xbox 360 where we had the red ring of death, this barely gets anything like it, except for the yellow light. Let's see. Hardware. This thing is a powerhouse when it comes to hardware. The hardware in here is really unique, and it's unlike any other game system you can think of. It's better than the Xbox 360 for multiple reasons. Number one, this thing has customized hardware to it. This thing has the cell processor which has 7 cores in it, unlike the Xbox 360. And this thing can process so many things at so many times. That's why people used to be able to install Linux on here, because it was so good. Now, the only thing about Linux was that it was emulated on here. It wasn't exactly using the full potential of the PlayStation 3, but still, if it had, it would have been this thing is a supercomputer at its heart, at its core. Let's see, this thing has 512 megabytes of RAM in it. I don't exactly remember what specific one it was, but this thing has 512 megabytes of RAM. This thing has a 40 gigabyte hard drive, as I said. And let's see, because it has 7 cores to it, it can process so much stuff at the same time. And I've heard either this has a NVIDIA or an ATI graphics card in it. Now, those are the really big 2 competitors in here, and what I've seen from them, they blow everything else away. The Xbox 360 uses uses basically all of Microsoft stuff. Like, it uses DirectX 10, it uses Windows XP architecture. That's why we've got hackers. That's why we've got a bunch of people hacking the 360, because it runs Windows XP based stuff. And that's where the 360 fails. The 360 fails in its hardware. Sure, the graphics may look similar, but compared to the PS3, this thing is a powerhouse, and this thing can do so much more that the 360 can't. That's why we've got Metal Gear Solid 4 on here. Now, if they released Metal Gear Rising on the Xbox, I'm pretty sure it can't keep up with the PS3. That's my theory. Let's see, what else in terms of hardware am I missing here? Well, let's see, that's all really I can think of. The graphics are outstanding, and that also goes in with the hardware category, and there really isn't anything else I can think of. The other features in here I already mentioned are labeled right here. Let's see, overall I give this thing a 10 out of 10 because it barely has little to any flaws, and if I mention any one of them, I'd be nitpicking about them. Let's see. So, I give this thing a 10 out of 10 for its design because it's unique, for its hardware because they're all unique, for its ventilation system, and for its specific features that it's got on board to it. Now, the next part of this video, which will be a separate video itself, the next part will be the internal stuff. Not me taking apart the PS3. Like, I'm going to use my capture card and review the XMV and the features internally of the PlayStation 3. Now, until next time, I'll see you guys later.